Why does the black man serve the white man? Why does everything the black man do benefit the white man? Why does the black man say freedom is doing what I want to do? And why is it that everything he wants to do enriches the European?
Welcome to the desert of the real.
There are two things needed before you can do anything for Black African people as a collective: a consensus amongst the intelligentsia and a mandate from the people. What is needed is a clear and concise message cutting across all ideological and social issues. I've been involved in Black Afrikan Cultural and Socio-economic and political studies for over 20 years of my life. With that being said, in my humble opinion, that message should be narrowed down to 3 words: land, infrastructure, nationhood. Socio-economic and political control over the context of our reality, so displaced Africans, not only in the U.S. but across the diaspora, can have an independent nation of their own on the continent of their ancestors, and finally a home of their own, free from the social, economic, and political control of the people who displaced them, which includes Continental Afrikans, by the way. This is a clear message that cuts across all ideologies and personal beliefs, orientations, tribes, clans, posses, crews, and cliques. No Black African person, unless they are insane, doesn't think we should have running water. I can't think of one Black African person that feels we shouldn't have a transportation system, roads and highways, power grids and substations, electricity and gas. I can't think of one Black African person who doesn't think a project of that magnitude would not create thousands of jobs for Black African people on every level of that society. The only way preachers, philosophers, so-called Black leaders, representatives, cultural critics would be involved is if they have some work boots, overalls, gloves, and construction helmets on and holding screwdrivers, shovels, and hammers. Instead of whining, bitching, moaning, complaining, and getting a snotty nose and teary eyes over how we are being treated by quote-unquote society, we would have our own destiny in our hands and create the type of society and quality of life we want from the ground up. We need to elevate the conversation away from the social, religious, and individual personality issues of tenants to the land, infrastructure, and nationhood conversation of owners. That is what you call a real Black African agenda. If anyone calling themselves a cultural critic, spokesperson, representative, or so-called leader passing themselves off as the voice of Black people does not have those talking points coming out of their mouths, they do not speak for African people. They should be shunned, ostracized, and jettisoned from our midst as the irrelevant and useless clowns they are. The ideological mantra of nationhood for Black African people is this: number 1, research our own experience. Number 2, absorb what is useful. Number 3, reject what is useless. Number 4, add what is specifically our own. Black African power and a Bibi Fahudie, total African liberation.